This is Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, a full book review. Now, if you haven't watched my summaries, no worries. I will be telling a little bit about the book within here. Let's get started. First off, when I want to talk about Silent Spring, I want to talk about why it was written. The blurb itself says that this is Rachel Carson's landmark 1962 book, which explored the destruction of wildlife through the use of pesticides. It isn't just about pesticides though. Sure, it's mainly about pesticides. More specifically, this dichlorothionyl trichloroethane, otherwise known as DDT. Made a whole video about it, and go watch it. It's okay, it's just mainly me ranting, but mostly nonsense. Seriously though, Silent Spring itself, other than about being about DDT, we get something about its miracles, but it's technically a devil in disguise. Now, remember, this was 1962. At the time, genetics was fairly a new field, and DDT itself was seen as the wonder miracle during the war that helped fight the insects, because whatever side you're on, you're always at war with the insects, especially the malaria, mosquitoes, and the ticks and lice. Those are your biggest enemies. DDT was sprayed onto people, like literally onto their heads, and that was supposed to help prevent the insects from getting onto humans, or at least transmitting stuff into humans, such as malaria-induced mosquitoes transmitting malaria into humans. Eventually, Silent Spring realized that Silent Spring's author, Rachel Carson, talked about the entirety of DDT situation, the pesticide situation, and then found out about all the dangerous effects of DDT. And sure, it says that it's harmless towards humans, but Rachel Carson herself had different ideas. DDT doesn't only poison insects, they also poison birds and animals. Sure, it seems to be relatively harmless to humans, but that's until, well, here's why they seem to be harmless towards humans. Now, extra stuff in humans, they are literally went ahead and stored into the body fat. Like the rest of your fat, that is, and that's your reserves, like your final fuel reserves. If you don't eat food, then they're gonna start burning fat, because that's the only fuel reserve that you have left. And in those fuel reserves, the DDT that's inside your body, that's where it's stored, because it's deemed harmless, because it won't do anything to your body. But once you start using that DDT, once you start using that fat, well, it starts spreading around your entire body, which shuts your nervous system down. Or something like that, I suppose. And the parts per million of DDT within the bodies in I think it was like the 50s or 40s to the 1960s, increased from like 5 point something, that 4 was just an arbitrary number, I guessed, and 7 point something, I think it was 7.2, or maybe it was 7.4. Like, if I remember correctly, it was like 5.6 to 7.2, just correct me in the comments down below. This led towards the environmental movement. Sure, it was mainly against DDT, but then Rachel Carson herself didn't just talk about DDT. She talked about how the environment and how man was like interlocked with each other, and how they were destined to either work together or destroy each other. We humans have to work together with our Mother Nature, because unfortunately we are part of Mother Nature. Humans are kind of stupid trying to control Mother Nature, trying to go ahead and bind her towards a oppression where we humans are the ones who go ahead and control nature, because that's not how nature works. Because eventually, if we bind nature, we just bind ourselves in the process. We upset the balance of nature. Well, nature is technically the owner of the home that we live in. Okay, so let me use this analogy. Let's say, let's just say that we, mankind, are partners with Mother Nature. And Mother Nature is the owner of the house we live in, mainly because we're too dang broke to really afford one. So we moved in with her. And we try to go ahead and submit her into our control. Unfortunately, once Mother Nature's balance is off, aka death, well then, who owns the home? Her will definitely says, just leave it to the government. And so the home is out of our possession, and now we are homeless. And as we are homeless, we die. Or even if we do survive, we barely survive. That's the whole point of this nature thing. We have to work together with nature because we are part of nature. We upset the balance of nature, that we are part of that balance. DDT itself was supposed to be a miracle, but it's technically a devil in disguise. Its impact, its influence around the world is still seen today. It's been like 4 to 5 decades since DDT was completely eradicated from use. It's still in small parts per millions within humankind. I mean, I remember my mom going ahead and chasing a DDT truck when she was young. She's Generation X. She's Gen X. And we go ahead and learn something about this. Why is it called Silent Spring? The Silent Spring, the title itself, really goes ahead and explains the whole point of the environmental movement. Specifically, DDT killing birds, and the spring is supposed to be full of birds chirping. But without the birds, well, no one's chirping, and it's completely silent. It's a very silent spring. Nowadays, the spring is lively again. I still hear bird chirpings whenever there's no rain. Just realize it's summer, not spring. But during the spring, we are much more friendly towards our environment. Rachel Carson herself went ahead a few years after the book was published, died from breast cancer. DDT itself was shown to be able to cause cancer in one way or another, but no one knows for sure if that was the cause for Rachel Carson's cancer. She tries to stay away from this stuff anyway, so highly unlikely that she was infected with the cancer by the DDT. Regardless, though, we have a legacy to deal with. Silent Spring is just one of the few books around the world that influenced an entire movement that changed the entire course of history. Not like an indirect, subtle difference. It's like a direct impact. Only other books can rival this, like Karl Marx's books about communism and Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin. Very few books have been able to do that. Rachel Carson's Silent Spring was just the next one. And whatever it takes into the future, we still have her legacy to thank us. We still have to thank her for like the legacy that she left behind, so that we can survive and keep going on. So whatever you say, Rachel Carson's Silent Spring is just another wake-up call. Just like Uncle Tom's Cabin, just like the Marxist books, the socialist communist books by Marx, all those were influential towards us. So in the end, just go ahead and read Silent Spring and just enjoy the environment around you. Be thankful that it's still here, because we have other things to worry about now. Climate change and geopolitical situations. But until the day we do solve them, which will probably not happen in my lifetime, but probably for my grandchildren and grandchildren's lifetime, we will survive, and we must cherish the earth that we still have. I still have like a good 80, 70 years ahead of me. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope you guys will cherish the environment as well too. See you guys soon. Until next time, Shihon out. Peace. Bye bye. Yes, my name's Shihon.